Hey, what's happening? What's going on, guys? Thank you for tuning in to Rules for Rebels. I got an email from Sam. I thought this might shed some light on selling on eBay, selling on Amazon, starting an e-commerce business, how to know what products to sell, how to do product research. I think his email kind of nicely leads us into kind of talking about all these issues. Now, one thing I really wanted to do is kind of get some community support on this as well. Obviously, like selling on Amazon, there's so many variables involved in terms of like how established your account is, what product category you're selling to, what niche it's in. Is it seasonal? Is it a fad product? Is it evergreen? So when we start talking about like sales rank and like if your product has a sales rank of 100,000, how many sales does that equate to per day, per week, per month, per year? If you guys wouldn't mind dropping some comments and kind of shedding some light on like what some of your products and things like that are doing, I think it would be helpful to all of us. So here's what he said. Hi, John. I saw your video and loved it. Several quick questions. How much sales per product is considered as a minimum in Amazon or eBay in order for me to invest in it? I.e., if I can find a product that sold 1,000 pieces a month in Amazon, is this product worth the effort? So here's one kind of funny thing that's kind of goofy about Amazon. So we'll head over here and look at like an Amazon product. So this is a paddleboard leash. And if we go down, we can see it has a Amazon bestseller rank, 2,272. This is actually really high. It means it sells a lot of units in sports and outdoors. So when it comes to Amazon, we have like these overarching categories of like sports and outdoors. And if we go over to Jungle Scout, we're going to look at their free tool in a little bit here. We have all these different categories. We have appliances, arts and crafts, automotive. So we have these overarching categories. And then we also have like subcategories. So this is sports and outdoors, outdoor recreation, more specifically water sports, more specifically stand-up paddleboarding, and then paddleboard leashes. So as you start getting into more subsets of Amazon categories, you know, you're more niche, there's less competition, you know, because there's going to be outdoor recreation is going to encompass like tents, what do they call that stuff? Paracord bracelets, like all that stuff. Then we get into water sports. That's going to include like water skis, wakeboards, paddleboards. Then we get up into stand-up paddleboarding, and we're only going to have paddleboard stuff, right? We're going to have leashes, we're going to have board pumps, etc. And then we have a specific category for just leashes. Here, you know, surfing, a little bit of a bigger category at rank 16. But basically, I guess what we're kind of looking at here is 2,272. Like, on average, how many products will that sell per day? So Jungle Scout, which is actually a paid program, but they do offer this free tool, which is like a sales estimator. Now, we're also going to be taking a look at Terapeak in a second here. Just to give you guys an idea, for those of you guys who don't know what these programs are, these are analytic programs. Now, the one thing I like about Terapeak over Jungle Scout, and I will link to both these products in the description box below. They are affiliate links, so if you decide to use any of them and you use my link, I will make a small cut of each sale. But I personally use both of these. I actually let my Jungle Scout subscription kind of go on pause for the moment just because I'm not really doing a whole lot of stuff on Amazon. Terapeak, I actually have a complimentary subscription from Terapeak, which actually a while back Terapeak was actually bought from eBay. But one thing you're going to want to make sure that you're before we get into this point. So keep in mind, here's a big difference between Terapeak and Jungle Scout. So with Terapeak, now it's owned by eBay, but even before it was owned by eBay, Terapeak was an eBay partner. And what that means is eBay actually shares their internal sales data with Terapeak. So when you look up something on Terapeak, you're actually seeing 100% authentic, real, guaranteed stats. If Terapeak tells you that 500 paddleboard leashes are sold per month, then 500 paddleboard leashes sell per month. The one thing that, and it's not really a critique of them, because Amazon doesn't share info. Amazon is very kind of closed off from the public. They're not going to share sales data with you. You know, they don't share sales data with any third parties. So when we use a program like Jungle Scout or Unicorn Smasher, one thing you have to keep in mind is these are purely estimates. Somehow these guys have figured out an algorithm and kind of said, okay, if something has, you know, a BSR score of 100,000, that means in general it's going to sell 5 units per day. Now, in reality, you know, a product in sports and outdoors may sell 50 units per day. a product in baby items with the very same rank may only sell 5 units per day. So this is purely an estimate. One thing that can really kind of throw off these numbers, if somebody is doing a free sponsored giveaway, and giving away their product for free or at a discounted price, that's going to give them a temporary boost in BSR. Also, if somebody has a product that gets featured on like a popular blog or YouTube channel or something like there's all types of things that can cause a product to surge in sales. And one thing you have to watch out for is if you're checking a product's BSR score, make sure you check it over the period of a couple weeks. And this way, you know, if for some reason it had a mention on a popular blog, somebody's doing a giveaway, you're not going to see artificially inflated numbers and buy a product that really isn't doing no sales. But what do we say? 2,272. So if we go over to this free tool, we'll go down to sports and outdoors, and sales rank 2,272. So they're saying on average this product is going to sell 1,258 units per month. Now, I have plugged in some of my own products in here before, and some of my products, they dramatically underestimate the number of sales. Some of my products, they dramatically overestimate the number of sales. But this, you know, at least it's a guide. It gives us some idea. One thing you're going to want to be very careful of is make sure you're always using the overarching category, because if we were to put in like number 16, it's going to be like an insane number of sales. 17,000 versus, I forget what the other one was. 17,000 versus 1,000. You know, very, very big difference there. Let me show you guys Terapeak really quick as well. Product research. And I realize we were kind of in a roundabout way answering his question. But let's see here. Paddleboard leash. Now, Jungle Scout, the paid version of Jungle Scout, actually has a lot more data that they share with you. You're going to be able to see a lot more information, but I was just showing you guys a free one. And I will link to the free tool, as well as where you can actually sign up for a Jungle Scout account if you want to. But this is Terapeak. So we put in paddleboard leash. Let's see, we'll look at high-level information first. So the average price of a paddleboard leash is $26. The average shipping price is $1.53. They're not showing an average start price. Sell-through rating is 66%. So basically what that means is there's 62 total listings, 41 were successful. That gives us 66%. On eBay and Amazon, like, it's really hard to nail down like what products are worth selling. And I'll give you guys a quick example. So if I'm selling kind of an obscure product with really high margins, I might be okay with less sales. So let's just say, for example, I'm selling radio volume knobs for Toyota Camrys 1998 through 2002. A lot of times, like, parts like that have huge markups. So I might be able to buy that part for like 50 cents or $1. I might be able to sell that part for like $38, so like 37x profits. Now that product may only sell 5 or 10 units per month, but if I can buy it in small quantities and it has giant margins and there's not a whole lot of competition, well, that may be worth me selling a product that only sells 10 units a month, because off that 10 units I'm making, let's see, let's do the math on that real quick. Off those 10 units, I'm making $370. Now, on the flip side, what if there was another product that cost $50 and I sold it for $60? There's a $10 margin and I'm only going to sell 10 of them per month. Well, then that product may not be worth selling. Then you also have seasonal products where, you know, the other summer I rolled out a cooler and, you know, great product, but keep in mind it's only going to sell like May through September. The rest of the year it's not going to sell at all. So there's so many factors that go into whether a product is worth selling or not worth selling. Getting back to some of this Terapeak data, again, really varied. I would say anything above a 40% sell-through rating is potentially worth selling. Anything above 80% is definitely worth selling, and things that are like 90 to 100%, it's almost always worth selling, even if you're only going to sell a few units, because every listing winds up selling. But like, look at this information they give you. They tell us the category sporting goods. Most people buy between 2 and 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So this is something like if you're doing buy it now prices, it doesn't really matter. But if you're doing auctions, you would probably want to end your auctions between 2 and 3. Fixed price listings sell the best. Here we can see a chart of like what time of day people are buying. The day of the week when people buy most is Tuesday. So I would probably want to end my listings between 2 and 3 p.m. Most people are pretty much everyone's doing 30-day listings. We can see the price point. So if I were thinking about selling a paddleboard leash, very few paddleboard leashes are selling for over $16. I notice things tend to sell for a lower price on eBay than they do on Amazon. But if I'm selling a paddleboard leash, if I can't buy my paddleboard leash at a price that allows me to sell it for $15.99 or less, I'm probably not going to have a whole lot of luck selling it. So if I can't do that, I might want to move on. This is kind of helpful when you're crafting your listings. You can see the keywords that you want to include in your title: surfboard, coiled, sup, up, stand-up, rope, black, etc. Most fixed price. Here we can see the highest priced items. I haven't really been using Terapeak much. Here we can see items that have sold, so we can kind of see what price points they're at, what their listings are like. What is this? This is historical data. This is kind of helpful if you want to see if a product is selling well over a period of time. So in terms of the total number of listings, like when something gets really hot and really popular, you're going to see the skyrocket. That kind of tells you that competition is coming into the marketplace. The average end price, this is really good. The average end price is going up, and that means people are willing to pay more money for paddleboard leashes than they were in the past. What is this? I think this is a competition checker. You used to actually be able to see the name of the seller who were selling. A while back, I think in order to protect people's privacy, they started taking away the name. So we can see these are all individual sellers, but they don't tell us their eBay name. And then lastly, I believe this is how products are selling internationally. So eBay Germany paddleboard leashes are selling for a lot more money than in the UK, Canada, Australia, or even the US. The sell-through rating, however, is the best in the UK. Sales distribution, so what countries are people buying these items from. So a lot of great data here. Even though Terapeak is specifically made for eBay, typically, like most e-commerce trends tend to carry across the board. I mean, if a product's selling good on Amazon, it's probably going to sell good on eBay. If a product's selling good on eBay, it's probably going to sell well on Shopify stores. A couple other tools that are kind of cool. This is one of my favorite tools right here is category research. And this is going to show you, red is hot, gray is not. And we can see kind of what products are selling really well. So golf's selling really well right now. Makes sense. We're in the summertime. So something that like isn't selling super good is like vintage golf equipment, but like swing traders are selling really good. Golf club shafts are selling really good. Range finders and scopes. So this is a good tool to kind of lead you to products that are selling really well. I wanted to get back to kind of focusing more on his question because I've gone on a bit of a tangent here. So in order for a product to be considered, well, what's a good number of products being sold per month to be considered worth investing in? Hopefully I shed a little bit of light on that, but I mean, I really can't give you an exact figure. Like if it's under 50,000, it's worth selling. It's really going to depend on how your margins are, the price point, the competition, a whole lot of other factors. I'll give you an example right now. Right now I'm selling a t-shirt on Amazon, and the t-shirt is ranked 67,000 in, well, I forget what the category is called, novelty t-shirts or whatever. In some of the more specific categories like women's cute novelty t-shirts or whatever, I think I'm as low as like 1,700. That t-shirt on average sells 4 to 6 units per day. On a good day, I've sold as many as 16 units. So, Amazon sales do fluctuate. Product sales or a BSR score in one category could be completely different in another category. But if any of you guys watching this video, I don't want you giving away any proprietary information or what your niche is. But if you want to say I'm selling something in sports and outdoors, my sales rank is 200,000 and I'm selling on average 22 units a week. That's not going to give anything personal away from your business, and I think it would be helpful to your fellow YouTubers and e-commerce sellers. So I think that's something worth mentioning. Do you sell more through eBay than Amazon, or on Amazon and eBay? In general, I would say you're typically going to be able to do better volume on Amazon. I tend to notice price points tend to be a little bit higher on Amazon as well. eBay is really good for used items, for unique items, and for kind of gray area items that might not be allowed on Amazon. So on Amazon, it's really hard to get into some categories, like sports and collectibles, almost impossible to get into. There's a huge backload of people trying to get on. So for something like that, eBay could be a good place for you to get your start. Something like personal care items, lotions, supplements, things like that, really hard to get to sell on Amazon. eBay is pretty much a Wild West, very easy to sell on there. I think selling used items is a great way to kind of figure out markets and what winds up selling good. I'll just give you an example. Say you go to Goodwill and you try to find an assortment of items that you think there's a demand for that are cheap. So let's say maybe you buy a pair of cowboy boots, you buy some women's jogging pants, you buy some shoes, you buy some purses, and you buy some books. One kind of cool thing about sourcing used items is you can tend to get this stuff really cheap. So if you pay $5 for a pair of cowboy boots, you almost can't lose, right? You're at least going to get 20 or 30 bucks for that pair of cowboy boots. Same for the other stuff. It's just very easy to make money, and if something doesn't sell, well, it's not like you spent $1,500 starting a private label line. You're only out a little bit of money. So I think that's kind of a good risk-free way to get started. Well, after you start selling, maybe you discover, wow, cowboy boots tend to sell really good. So you could either try to scale up that business by running around to 10 more Goodwills trying to find more cowboy boots, or maybe you decide you want to try to find a drop shipper of cowboy boots or a wholesale supplier of cowboy boots. And that way, it's much less risky selling that product after you've already proven that you can sell that product in a lower risk scenario. So, I think maybe getting started on eBay might be a good way to kind of get your feet wet and start with less risk. And then those sales numbers may give you the confidence to go ahead and do like a private label on Amazon or buy items in bulk. And then lastly, he says, do you think it's worthwhile to have my own online store besides Amazon and eBay? Absolutely. I talked the other day in a video about the guy who sold his Amazon merch business for $234,000. And I said, one thing that really concerns me about such a high price point is all his eggs are in one basket. He's 100% completely reliant on Amazon. And if Amazon lowers the commission, if they kick him off, if they change the algorithm, his entire business is sunk. So in general, I'm a huge fan of having a presence on as many platforms as you can. I also think it's very, very smart to have a platform that you own and control. So it's great to be on Amazon, eBay, and Etsy, because if something happens to eBay, you still got Amazon and Etsy. If something happens to Etsy, you still got Amazon and eBay. But something like Shopify, you own and control your store. Nobody can take that down, and I think that's very valuable. If you can afford the $29 a month for a Shopify account, I know some people are scraping by. That's the only reason I mentioned it. If you can afford it, I think it's great to have that and start kind of building that presence and building up a search ranking and some SEO and stuff like that. If you're not too confident in what you're doing, or if you want to start slower, I think eBay and Amazon are a great place to get started and kind of prove the concept. If you can't sell on eBay and Amazon, it's very unlikely you're going to sell on Shopify, because eBay and Amazon are giving you organic traffic, right? Like there are the example of paddleboard leashes, there are already people on eBay and Amazon selling, or shoppers on eBay and Amazon shopping for paddleboard. So if somebody's looking for a paddleboard leash and you have one for sale on their platform, there's a very good chance that they're going to see your listing and you might get a sale. The challenge with having your own Shopify store, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, whatever platform you choose to run on, is you have to drive all your own traffic. So if you can't sell paddleboard leashes with eBay and Amazon sending people to your items, it's very unlikely you're going to sell stuff on your own website where you're having to drive traffic and also make the sales. So I think eBay and Amazon are a great testing ground. If you can afford to do it, I would suggest also having a Shopify store, but at the very least, if it's got to be one or the other, I would start with eBay and Amazon because they're free. It takes away a little bit of the learning curve. If you're completely new to e-commerce, you're not going to have to find a payment processor or figure out how to set up a store. I mean, eBay and Amazon kind of do all that legwork for you for a fee. Of course, they're going to take part of your sales. So I know I've been kind of rambling for a while here, but Sam, I hope that answers your question. And to the community, if you guys wouldn't mind throwing out some of your, you don't have to name the product. I don't want you guys giving away anything that's gonna let copycats get onto you. But if you don't mind saying I sell in sports and outdoors, or I sell in baby items, or I sell in home decor items, my sales rank is 50,000 and I sell 500 units a month. I think that would be helpful to people. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button below. And until next time, guys, Rules for Rebels signing off. Sam, thank you for the great video topic, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.